Assalamu alaikum. Today I will demonstrate you about the important neuron definitions which are often asked in the Viva exams. So first of all discussing the number first definition, which is the stimulus artifact. Stimulus artifact. Now we know that in order to excite any fiber, we put the two electrodes at both ends, negative and positive, in order to bring the neuron action potential like this. Suppose this is the nerve fiber, we place both positive and negative electrodes here in order to excite this particular fiber, and then we achieve the neuron action potential. So if I represent this in graphical form, so this wave develops, this pattern is likely to be made. So this particular imagination is known as the stimulus artifact. You must need to remember. Number second, we have the orthograde conduction. So orthograde conduction is defined as the conduction of impulse, the direction of impulse when it occurs in the positive direction. Like if we talk about the conduction system of heart, we know that the impulse travels from the SA node towards AV node. So if the impulse is traveling from the atria towards the ventricle, so we can say that it is the orthograde conduction. Then we have the retrograde conduction. So retrograde conduction is defined as the you can say the reverse movement of the impulse. Like if the impulse is traveling from ventricles to atria, so this type of conduction will be known as the retrograde conduction. Then we have number 4, we have the synaptic zone. We have the synaptic zone. So synaptic zone is defined as the connection between the two neurons, which is also known as the synaptic cleft. Whenever there is a connection which develops between the two, this is the axon of the neuron, and this is the dendrite of the neuron. So this connection develops through the synapse, and this zone is known as the synaptic zone. I would show you like this, that this connection which develops between the two neurons, this is the axon, this is the dendrites. So this connection is this zone is known as the synaptic zone. So now after the synaptic zone, I would discuss the input zone. Input zone. Input zone is defined as the area which receives the impulse. That area is known as the dendrites. That is the input zone. So I would draw this neuron here, that these are the dendrites, then becomes the cell body like this. These are the Schwann cells, which are embedded in a myelin sheath in order to make the conduction more fast, and these are the axons. So this is the neuron. Okay, so if we talk about the input zone, so input zone is defined as this area, these are the dendrites. Then we have number 6, we have the Axon Hillock. So Axon Hillock is defined as the area which is present between the axon and the cell body. So this area is known as the Axon Hillock. So before Axon Hillock, the processes which would occur, that would occur in the cell body, and after the Axon Hillock, the processes that are occurring would occur in the axon. After this we have the output zone. The output zone is defined as these axons. These are known as the output zone because these are those axons which develop the connection with the other neuron, with the dendrites of the other neurons. So that's why this zone is defined as the output zone. Then we have the after depolarization zone. After depolarization. So in a typical action potential wave, what happens pattern, in a typical action potential pattern, this develops like this. So this is the depolarization phase, and this is the repolarization phase. So this repolarization phase is known as the after depolarization. Then we have this after depolarization phase, we have the after repolarization phase. After repolarization. So in after repolarization, you can see that this happens. This invagination appears. So what happens that this is the resting membrane potential. So when when hyperpolarization occurs when the leak due to the leaking potassium channels. So when further potassium leaks, so hyperpolarization develops. So this phase is known as the after repolarization phase. So in this particular lecture, I have explained you about the important definitions of the neurons and hope you have understood it well. Last but not the least, don't forget subscribe and miss lectures. Thank you.